Hi, my name is Tracie Chandler. I am a survivor of domestic violence. I met the young man. I was 14 going on 15. He was 21 years old and walking home from school with his sister. Her brother approached me. He said, "Hey, young lady, what's your name?" And that's when he wanted to get to know me. I did not really want to be bothered with him because it was something about him that I didn't want to be bothered with him. And that's where my story began, like a up and down roller coaster ride, as the details with him wasn't the right person that needed to be in my life. I didn't really know his age then because he looked younger, until like later on he had his sister to call me. And when she called me, she said, "Someone want to speak to you." So I got on the phone and I was like, start speaking to him. So he started talking to me. He said, "Why don't you come back and visit, my sister?" So I felt like, okay, well, maybe it's okay, to find out more about why or when you want to meet up or whatever. So finally I did go over to his house he was living with his mom and dad and all the siblings. So when I went there, I said, okay, he has a family with a mom and dad. And so after I was talking to him, then he was like, "Oh, don't you want a beer?" I'm young and I'm like looking like, oh, okay. I'm kind of stumbled with my words. "Oh, don't you want some marijuana?" In my mind, I'm thinking, why he want to introduce me to marijuana? And I was like, no. He said, "Well, everyone do this, do that." And I said, "Well, I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm okay." And he's like, "Oh, it'll take you on to another world, another imagination." I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, I don't want to be in another imagination, another world. Don't sound quite right. What happened next? He tried to force himself and have sex. So I'm like, I didn't want to have sex because I'm like looking at him like, no, I don't want to have sex. And he was like, "Well, you drink some beer and relax." So then I did end up drinking a beer. So after the beer, he was like, just think about it. So in my mind, after I left his home, I said, I'm not going back to his home. So he called me up the next day. He said, "Oh, are you coming back over to my house to, my sister?" So I was like, "Well, don't offer me the marijuana." He said, "Okay, I promise I won't." So when I went back and he started saying, "Okay, here's some beer." So I drank some more beer. After I was drinking so much beer, I did get a little drunk off the beer. Then that's when he had again the marijuana. And he said, "Oh, it won't hurt you. It won't hurt you." So I did try the marijuana. And from that point on, I felt like, what did you give me? He was like, "Oh, it helped you relax." So later on, I went back home and my behavior was acting so strangely to my mom, who I missed maybe 40 some days out of school seeing him. As time went on and he was like, "Come and see me, you who would know you missing school?" And I said, "Well, my mom." He was like, "Oh, they won't know, she won't know, just come and see me. Make sure you eat and everything, eat properly. I can make you like grilled cheese." And all that sounded good to me, even though I had all that at home, but I'm feeling like, okay, this person want to make me grilled cheese, want to do this and do that. So that's how he got me back into to the home. And once he got me into the house, he took me back up into the attic, offered back the marijuana. So I did start back smoking the marijuana with him again. So I'm like, this is cool. This in my mind, I'm saying this is cool. After that, over the period of time, he kept saying he wanted to marry me. I really didn't want to marry him because it was something about him. Then he ended up saying, "I want you to have my children." I didn't want any children by this man. After, again, like I said, when I missed 40 some days of school, the school eventually called my mom and told my mom, which my mom thought I was in school. And after she found out I wasn't in school, she did recall back in the good old days, she did whoop me. She did give me an old-fashioned whooping. I didn't know what to do to tell her I'm trapped in this situation with this guy, trying to make him happy. It felt like I was just like all over the place, that I just didn't know how to get out the cycle that I was in. Then he forced me to say, "Well, we're going to get married." Before the marriage, I ended up getting pregnant by him. The first time, I was like 16. He felt like my mom had money. My mom just was a working everyday woman. And he felt like, okay, since she don't want you around, you think you too good. And he felt like, I'm gonna get even with your mom because she thinking you too good and y'all think y'all richer. It's like, we didn't have money like that. I did not want to marry him because I knew that he had problems with my family. I didn't want to be really involved with this man. It was an up and down roller coaster, I would say, trying to get away, break away. I didn't know anything about love. When I got pregnant and my mom said, well, you're not going to keep the baby and we can just, ask God to forgive us. And I'm like, deep in my heart, I didn't want to do this. So by me living under my mother's rules and everything, so I had to obey what she said because I'm still a young child at 16. When he found out I aborted the baby, he said to me, you and your mom got rid of that first baby. I guarantee you're going to have my next baby. In my mind, I didn't want to have any more children by this man. As I was getting closer to 18, he said, you're going to try again. You don't take your birth control pills and nothing like that. You're going to have my baby. So that's what happened. I ended up getting pregnant again at 17. I had my son when I was 18. He would hit me. If a young guy that I saw in school, if I spoke to them, he would slap me. I couldn't look at the other young boys. He told me that I had to be back home when he wanted me. I had a curfew on the weekends. My mom said, well, you can be home around on the weekends like 11:30. I had to lie to say that I was at a friend of mine's house to be with him. So he got to a point, he ended up ripping my winter coat. It was like harder winter, ripped my winter coat, and he took my boots. I said, I got to get home. My mom want me home. I didn't want no conflicts with my mom. I didn't want conflicts with him because I felt like I'm trying to please my mom. I'm trying to please him. Later on, after he married me, when I did turn 18, that's when he introduced me to harder drugs. Then he said, well, I could do what I want to do because you're my wife. And that's when he started selling my body. 18, 19 years old. And I was like, I don't want any stronger drugs or anything like that. And he said, this will make you feel good and all this. That's when things started getting a little bit out of hand when he started doing that. He started bringing people. What happened was, following day, he said, go take a shower and go and put on the skirt. I followed the directions. Then the guy came in. He said, I want you to model to show these guys your equipment, to let them know that you're holding, your body is holding, that you got a nice shape, and they'll want to give us drugs if you just do that for me. Then he told the guys to take me into the bedroom. He said, if you don't do it, they're going to kill us. So I had no choice at that point in time. So I did go back into the bedroom to do exactly what he told me. And then a couple of days after that, he said, well, I want you to come into the apartment. My wife would be able to show all of you guys a good time. Just give us the drugs. That's what ended up happening. All these guys start coming into the apartment to have sex with me. And in my mind, I'm like, I'm dying here. I'm dying. And so when I was walking out of the living room from the party scene where all these guys was, I want to jump out the window to get help. I'm like, I'm hurting. My chest is hurting. I think I was the age of 22 years old at that time. I don't remember anything else but waking up in intensive care. Machines all around me, everywhere. Some people, I don't know who called my mom. My mom came to the hospital. She went to hit my ex-husband, and I'm laying with two, intensive care. I'm laying in the bed with the tools, and my mom trying to hit him, and the nurses and doctors was all around me. They said, we lost you twice. I did not want to go back to the apartment. I left with my ex-husband, so I went back home to my mom. So he started doing a lot of violent calls, saying he was gonna hurt my mom or me. He would call the fire trucks for no reason. One time he called the ambulance and told the ambulance that someone in there sick really bad to take us to the hospital. And he would do all kinds of stuff like that to get my attention, to bring me back to him. He would just on and on call, and he would tell me he gonna kill my mother, until finally he ended up going to jail because of another situation that he got involved in. He had someone else put a gun over my head to make me come back to the abuse and the drugs. From that point on, when I got out the hospital, went back to get my personal belongings from the apartment where me and my ex-husband reside in. He had the drug dealer in the apartment, and when the drug dealer was trying to force me to have sex with him, he had a gun at my head to try to force me to have sex with him. So from that point on, I ran out the apartment and got away from him because I was running for my life and never looked back. I felt like a freedom once he did go to jail because I didn't know how to escape him. I didn't know which way to go. And a lot of people, like friends or family, thought I loved him. I didn't love him like that. I cared, but I was afraid, more so afraid. I'm afraid to think he gonna hurt my mom. I'm afraid he gonna hurt me. At any point of our relationship, I was always afraid, even cooking his food. I'm like, how can I win him? Winning him not to hit me, to argue with me. Because it's like every which way I tried to go with this with him, it always was a fight. He always wanted to hit me. He would scream and slap me, like doing little things like that. Or one time I said, well, I'm tired. I don't want to have sex. He tied my hands up with stocking against the bedpost. And I'm like trying to figure out how to get out of this. And it's like, I'm your wife. Why should you tie me up if I'm saying I don't feel well or whatever the case may be? So many scarier times that he done. Like one time he punched me in my head and I fell out. When he punched me in the head, I'm thinking I'm dying, and I felt unworthy. Sometimes I wanted to kill myself. One time I did try. He was saying nobody wanted me, nobody loved me. So I felt unworthy because I felt like I let my mom down, leaving home so early, being with this guy, trying to please him, trying to please my mom on the other hand. So one day I just felt like I just wanted to end it all. So I took like maybe 30 some pills, and that's when they rushed me to the hospital and pump my stomach. As I look over my life today, I feel so great. I never thought I would be able to write my own story. I remember back when I was younger, I used to love the old movies. I never thought I would write my own life story of what I went through to share to different people around the world. When I tell people about me, they like, you don't look like you went through anything. And I'm like, oh yes, I love doing it. Sometimes I go to the shelters, I go into the community. Never thought I can be able to live by myself. It used to be so scary to me, living by myself, even though my children grown and got, moved out. I never thought in a million years that I could live alone to be able to write and be able to tell other people about me. So that's why I wrote my book, to be able to tell other people I am a witness, I am a servant of God, to be able to say, I'm here today, to say I'm a survivor. So recognize those red flags, recognize those flags right away, and don't think you can change that person. You change and love yourself. Since I'm 58 years old, right now, it's like when I see red flags, I don't care how they may seem to pretend they're nice or whatever. Not saying all guys is bad, not saying all women are bad, but I'm learning as my journey to know, like, okay, it's your action. You might say some things, but your action also. I'm learning to vibe on your action and things that also what you may say and do. And I pray on that, God, is this right for me? If it's wrong. So I'm learning on my journey that not to take everything someone say. What are you about in my life? Are you coming to add or are you coming to take? So that's what I end up learning in my life. What are you coming in my life for? Is it coming for a meaningful relationship as a friend or whatever? So I'm learning as I grow. Women can be abusive too, as a friendship. Always be aware of whoever come in your life. It gets lonely sometimes, but you know what? It's okay. I look back on my life before, that is nothing compared to what it was back then. And I'm grateful to God that I love my life now.